Okay, Ramblers, let's get rambling.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Dr. Nick.
Well, it's Prime Time, brought to you by Some Dumb Guy, guest starring Buddy. He's here to make sure I do a good job with this unboxing of Amazon goodness. And oh my goodness. When Prime Day sales can kill me. It's bad enough I've got the Kino Lorber Spring and a Summer sale. I'm whittling through that. I'm going through the list of 700 some odd titles they have on sale, plugging them into my shopping cart. I finish. I pop into my cart. I've got something like 108 titles, totaling something along $1,600 worth of monies. I'm crazy. It's a little bit overboard. So I'm spending day after day, chopping. Swing, go through the list. Chopping, swing, go through the list. I've got myself down to, I think, 60 some odd titles. That sounds about right. And then Amazon goes, guess what? Prime Day sale. Really? Okay. So I start going through my wish list. What's on sale for Prime Day? Ping. And then I start sorting through their Prime Day sale list that might not involve my wish list. I think I found a couple little additions. Ding, I get in there. I got like freaking 500 or some odd dollars on my card now. I got Kino Lorber over here. I've got Prime over here. I mean, what's a collector to do? Chop, and chop. And I got a Kino Lorber order, pending delivery, pending shipment. Probably a second one to come. So I took everything and I prioritized, got all tight, and then I says, okay, I got all that together. I had to come up with a strategy. The creme de la creme, right? Take everything else off. I made a list, wrote it all down, took everything else off. Boom. Made that purchase. Made my Amazon Prime sale purchase. As soon as I made my Kino purchase, took all that list and plugged it right back into my cart. Okay. I've got one more payday coming before the Kino sale ends. I've got 34 more entries now on my cart in Kino Lorber, totaling some 400 and some odd dollars. And I've got a few days to figure out what the heck I'm going to do about that. Probably have to cut it down about half. And that wouldn't be a sane thing to do. Not doing anything at all would be a sane thing to do. Nobody's ever accused me of being sane, especially when it comes to my collecting physical media. Shall we get to why you're here and why I'm recording? Anything, buddy? Shall we commence? Seems very interested. So, box number one, because my Prime Day sale purchase got split into 2 shipments. Let's do this. Okay, box, sit in my lap. Okay, first up, this is a film from this year. Find Someone, made just for you. Okay, so we have 4K from, again, this year. This has been on disc now, I think probably about 2 months, give or take. Waiting for an appropriate price. I didn't expect it to drop this quickly for Prime, but it did, so why not? Got myself Companion. This was a very intriguing film. Not exactly what I was expecting based on the trailers, and that's perfectly okay with me. I like to be surprised. I sometimes will go in completely blind, so, you know, trailers can be a blessing and a curse. But we've got Companion. This is, Sophie Thatcher does a rather remarkable job in this role. Very sick, very twisted, sometimes comedic in that kind of sick and twisted comedic way films can do. I quite liked it. It really didn't come with a slipcover though. That's sad. My next one did. That's what made me think of it. This is also a new film from this year, so again, also surprised again that it made the Prime sale so early, and again, for such a good price. But we got another 4K Companion. Now to back up a little bit. No Blu-ray copy, digital only. Screw you, digital. I don't want nothing to do with you. This next one, 4K Blu-ray and digital. Screw you, digital. Don't want nothing to do with you. Like I said, we got a slipcover. Came out really early. I think this was a January release. Not a very well received film, but I found it to be an intriguing premise and execution. It did come up a bit short, but I wasn't really disappointed. It just didn't go as far with its premise as I would have liked, and I found much of it to be overly predictable. One of my favorite aspects of this film, Wolfman. Okay, obviously. Man transforms into wolf. Werewolves, of course. Yeah. In the sense of transformation, two really interesting aspects to this film. The first half of this film does a really great and interesting portrayal of a good, solid father-daughter relationship with the wife/mother kind of estranged. When Dad gets bit by a wolf man and starts turning into a wolf man, as he's transforming, so is the parental relationship, to where then you get to see a reconnecting between mother and daughter. And Daddy here, Mama, daughter here. Okay, so the daughter is like the central pivot point, and the actress who played her did a really great job. But you get this shift where she's like pendulum between the two. I thought that was very well executed. The other very unique thing about this film is as Dad is transforming, he loses the ability to comprehend words that people are speaking. So you see it from his perspective, essentially. You see someone's normal perspective. This person is talking to him, and you hear and understand, and then the perspective slowly switches over to him. And the English then becomes gibberish, and his brain's not there anymore. It's no longer human, so he's not registering actual words. And then it will shift back into the perspective of us through the camera on the screen, and you're seeing now the person, or hearing the person is now speaking English again. I thought it was a really cool thing to do. So yeah, despite everybody else's seemingly disappointment, I was pretty okay with it. Next up, we have another 4K, another recent release. This was a Christmas release this last year. I was waiting to pick this one up, well, just like the other two, for the price to come down. This one did come way down. It had been priced excessively high, I thought, for a little too long. And then all of a sudden it just went, like, yay! This includes an extended cut in addition to the theatrical version I saw. So all three of these now I've seen in the theater. Yeah, 4K, mostly mixed, but largely positive reviews on this one, if memory serves. We got another slipcover here. This would be the Robert Eggers' Nosferatu. And I thought visually this was a rather striking film. Narratively, I wasn't overly impressed. But as any of my regular viewers will know from recent unboxing episodes of SumDumBuys, I've already purchased the other two renditions of this film. The silent version from, I think it's 1922, the remake from 1979, and now the 2024 film. Now I can do a little, I've never seen the other two, so I'm going to do a Nosferatu remake trilogy, as you were, comparing and contrasting, maybe for an episode of SumDumBuys or a special episode. I don't know. I'd love to a back-to-back thing and just kind of process it, run down, do a compare and contrast, so to speak. Okay, we're going to turn back the clock a little bit. It's another, that was a 4K Blu-ray digital code. Ugh, fuck you, digital codes. Another one here, 4K, only digital. Fuck you, digital. No Blu-ray, which I think is why I hesitated buying this when it first came out, because I was still back in the early days of having only one 4K setup, and I didn't like to buy 4K releases that didn't come with a Blu-ray, because it limited where I could watch my films. I have since rectified that problem, and it's no longer an issue. But this 4K goes back a little ways to the year of 1987. A very well-received film for its time. I see, I don't remember him being in here, but I don't remember his name. Just watched a movie with him in it a few days ago. We have Brian De Palma film. Kevin, you know that guy Kevin, right? Kevin Costner. Charles Martin Smith, Andy Garcia, Robert De Niro, fuck you, Robert De Niro, Sean Connery. I wonder if it's Charles Martin Smith, if that's the guy I'm thinking of. I don't know. I don't ever know his name. He just has a recognizable face. Anyway, 119 minutes. I always had the perception it was longer. it be excessively long video featuring the Untouchables. I'm not a gangster movie fan. I don't own any gangster movies. I don't like gangster movies. Even the greats, I even want to recognize they are well-made movies. They just don't do it for me. This is something I can handle because the story is told from the perspective of the law enforcement personnel going after the mob people, not the mob people themselves. I guess if I were to make an exception to that, Oscar with Sylvester Stallone might be it, but it's strictly comedic film, so it doesn't really fall into the same genre. Last 4K, we're going to roll back the clock again even further. What year do we? We have 136 minutes. We know that. That's good. We don't have a year. We're going to go with the early 60s. Starring Cary Grant, Eva Marie Saint, and James Mason. Again, a 4K with digital code only. Fuck you, digital code. I already have a Blu-ray copy of this one anyway, so it doesn't matter hugely. But I got the privilege of seeing this last year for the very first time and in the theater. Great, great film. My introduction to Cary Grant. This is the recent release of North by Northwest. Yeah, very, very good movie. Very mix-matched in tone, successfully so. And the second Hitchcock film I got to see in the theater, I believe. And the second one I got to see for the first time in the theater. The Birds being the first. North by Northwest being the second. Followed by Rear Window. Loved them all. And then I got to see, not for the first time, but I got to see the theater for the first time a couple weeks ago. I could see Psycho. Great stuff. We're switching over to Blu-ray now. This is an older release. I've been eyeballing it for some time, waiting for a price that was satisfactory to me. And it is a Shout Select title, so both pricing on those are very inconsistent as far as where they go. This one was hovering like a little over 20 bucks, I think, for quite a while. And it finally dipped, so I pulled the trigger, much like the main character here probably does repeatedly. 1968, so we're jumping up a little bit closer. And we got a runtime of 115 minutes. We have got the classic Western, have never seen it. Hang 'em High from Clint Eastwood. What does that say? Oh, this is the 50th anniversary edition. Continuing to build my Clint Eastwood library. Happily so. It's coming along very well. Disc made in Mexico. Yeah. Like this artwork. Very cool. Hang 'em high, Clint Eastwood. Yeah, baby. Lastly, for box number 1. My regular viewers will understand my dilemma, or at least be familiar with it, whether they understand it or not, about how I operate in the TV realm. I'm looking at this one now and think I might have possibly made a mistake. This is a complete TV series on Blu-ray, totaling 4 seasons. I have the first 3 on Blu-ray already. At the time of the release of the 4th and final season, a complete series box set was put out. So I had my traditional choice. Buy the season 4 for cheapish, or spend a lot more money and buy the complete series in one package as a space-saving measure. And that's usually the route I go. So I waited and I waited. Well, Prime comes around. This one goes on sale, not for an awesome, awesome price, but a savings of about $15, $16 off of what it regularly was been. I got it, and now I pulled it out of the box. And at least for the moment, I'm experiencing some regret, and I'm going to need confirmation in a minute to find that out for sure. But this one is the complete series of Superman and Lois. Got a cool slipcover. Same artwork. Same details on the front and back. Okay. Why the potential for regret in this case? Well, let's see if you can see this through the camera. Okay, see the disc holders in there. You see all that empty space in this case? I got a big problem with that, because the whole reason why I do these kind of complete packages is space savings. So watch this. Okay, where's my problem? How are we going to best illustrate this? So, my like so. Okay. What's wrong with this picture? 3 individual seasons, complete box set. Alright, put it. I'm gonna do some movie magic. Something resembling movie magic. Okay. Alright, there. And right there. Let's see. Alright, so line that up. Am I saving any space at all if I just bought the 4th season? Maybe about 2 or 3 millimeters if I'm lucky. There. And there. You know what I mean? I bet you if I took that season 4's case and stacked it right on top of those 3, it would be the exact same thickness. I think it's time to maybe go back and look at what the price of season 4 is by itself and return this complete season or series, because I'm not gaining anything. I'll pull something off my shelf here before I commit, another standard case this size, and stack them up and compare, but I think I'm at the exact same place that I was if I'd bought the 4th season by itself for 20 bucks or less, which I probably have missed out on that opportunity now at this point, so I might have to watch it for a little longer. But I'd like to complete my viewing of the season, or the series, even though I wasn't a huge fan of season 3 by any stretch. Yeah, I mean, about the only thing I would regret about sending this back is, I don't know, I just like this, the kind of wider titles. I don't know, I mean, I've got a fondness for this kind of setup too, the individual ones, especially when they get the spines right, and Warner Brothers did a good job putting this together. These spines are incredibly fluid and consistent. I love it. I think the only change I might have made is I wouldn't have continued any of like the wraparound cover where you have artwork on the spine. This one's all black, this one's all white. This one is wraparound artwork from the front. It does not continue on the back, so there's no real reason for that. And then it does kind of obstruct visibility for your title by comparison. You know, that white and that black, it helps the title pop. This one, not so much, but again, overall, I thought that was a win for spine design, and that's something I'm particular about, something I wish studios would pay more heed to when they're designing their physical releases. I'm blurry. I feel blurry. Yay. All right, so that concludes part 1. Stay tuned for part 2. Part 2 is coming. Thanks for joining me. Bye-bye.
Alan.